Well, hello, Sarah. I'm so excited to finally meet up with you. I know we've been trying to make this work. And for everyone who's listening, Sarah and I go way back to our early Annapolis days of doing our getting together with, oh, come on, Rising Tide. There we go.
Rising Tide Society, yes.
Rising Tide, when Rising Tide was new, and now they're a force to be reckoned with. So, Sarah, what are you up to right now?
Right now, at the moment, I happen to be in Houston, Texas. We are on tour. This is our national tour. We're touring from January through March, from coast to coast. So we started in Atlanta. We went down to Miami. We're in Houston now. Next week, we're in Dallas, followed by Los Angeles, followed by Phoenix, and then back on home towards Richmond, Virginia.
There you go, full circle. So I introduced you, florist. I have mostly artists who are following, but my encouragement and my hope is that all creatives, all people who are like thinking outside of the box are joining us for this podcast. So that's one of the reasons why I thought it was so fun to bring you on and show how you've built this really remarkable business. What are you teaching when you do this tour, this Intrigue Across America?
Oh, we are teaching luxury floral design as well. So luxury floral design is a hands-on design class where we're creating these over-the-top pieces, centerpieces that are 8-9 feet in the air, floral installations that just make your jaw drop, and beautiful bouquets. But in addition to that, we're teaching a social media masterclass. And that's really where the money is made. The floral class is the most popular. We get the most questions. Right. Most people want to be in it. But it's those people that show up on the business track that really make an impact. So if, I don't know whether you're in the wedding industry or you're not.
Look, I took this right off your website. It's not the people who are the best at what they do that find success. It's the people who have fine-tuned their marketing that find success because they know how to talk best about what they do. And it's like, I saw that and I'm like, I screen captured it to save it to remind me, like, sure, you should be good at what you do, but oh my goodness, if you're good at what you do and you can't talk about it,
yeah,
your social media, of course, you teach that live right before you go for 2 whole days of floral design. Now, I was watching your Instagram account, and those who took the social media, they put up their phones, they started recording everything they were doing, and you were like, see, they got it. They know what to do now.
It was so great. So the focus of that social media course is literally, so I do a private mentoring just for marketing and social media. And I took the mentorship program. I see the success I can create when I spend a month with someone. And I thought, can I pare that down and give everyone a look into this in one day? So first time I taught the class in Atlanta, I didn't even know if it was going to work, but I created the course, created the booklet, a workbook, and it worked. So for the first day, in that one day, everyone leaves with a 12-month written social media strategy. Now, that's not the only thing they're ever going to post on social media, but when you have an organized strategy, then you can do whatever else you want to do and you don't have to think about it. It's already done for you. Right. You can just capture, post, and then schedule it out, or capture, schedule, post. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so, and have it like one of those things that you don't have to think about. But it's more than just sharing images or videos. It's really having a strategy behind it and knowing who you're talking to, how you're talking to them, and having that confidence to show up, which I think these amazing in-person events give you that kind of experience to be able to see like exactly how it's done and feel good about yourself to do it.
They really do. In fact, this tour was supposed to be only open to florists, but we have photographers, videographers, we have other creatives coming and joining us on the road, which is really exciting.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's obviously social media is your thing. You've got almost 200,000 followers on Instagram. Have you jumped into TikTok or any of that?
Oh, yes. And I just want to be clear. My social media numbers change all the time. So you might look next week and I've got 176,000. And then the following week and I've got 225,000. It fluctuates all the time. That might have been an exaggeration of the fluctuation, but yeah, it jumps all the time. So we've been at 200,000 multiple times. We've been below 200,000.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of finicky, but it is you showing up consistently that makes that difference.
So yes, we were on TikTok. Yes, we did jump into TikTok. TikTok is difficult, but it's difficult like Reels are difficult. So it's just a lot harder than it was years ago when all we had to do was have a pretty feed. Like, we're artists, we could do that in our sleep.
Right.
But if you look at my feeds now, they're not pretty, they're unorganized, they're a little chaotic, but this is the way that social media has changed.
Right.
So being perfectly pretty and polished is no longer what is getting the eyes that we want to sell to.
No.
So yes, I'm on
But
TikTok.
video is key.
Video is key. And the nice thing now is that video is transferable between platforms. You know, there's so many people teaching out there or even like doing out there that can't post the same content on each platform. But guys, Kellee, done is always better than perfect.
Right. Just do it.
Just do it. So I just take the same content and we parlay it into another platform. So we do it on YouTube Shorts, we do it on Pinterest, we do it on TikTok, and we do it on Instagram, which is usually where it starts.
Yep, exactly. You focus on something and then you upload it natively into the other apps and you just say, if it goes, it goes. If it works, it works. It's great having some sort of content just to be able to put it out there. And I noticed like what you were teaching in the social media was like, just keep recording yourself. And then eventually you're going to be able to chop that up into really good, you know, little bite-sized pieces. But sometimes that's all it takes is just turn the camera on, right?
Just turn it on. Yeah, turn it on.
Just turn it on.
Just making it down the stairs this morning.
So
one of the other things I think is important to say too that we talk about during this class is that it's okay if you don't want to be the face of your business. I think for so long, even myself would have said your face has to be out there, your face has to be out there. But the social media world is changing and it continues to change. And now I'm seeing more and more. If you don't want to be the face, it's okay. But if you're not the face, you need to have a brand focus. And you can do the same thing with a brand focus as you can by putting your face out there, because a lot of us, Kellee, we're shy. You're like me. We have this internal shyness and we record shy. We record scared. We record terrified of the camera, right?
It's so much easier when it's our art that we showcase, whether it's flowers or paintings or whatever. But it's nice. You're right. Having that brand and just making it personal is really going to make that connection with the customer. Yeah, Sarah, let's go way back though, and how you ended up where you're at here. We were talking about this. You are a luxury floral, luxury for, you say it, not me.
By trade, I'm a luxury wedding florist.
There you go.
But you can call me anything. You can call me florist. You can call me floral designer. You can call me floral artist. You can even call me a wedding planner, even though I'm not. But people call me all sorts of things. There is in our industry, you know, everyone says, "Oh, don't call yourself a florist. You are better than a florist." I am not. We are the same. We are playing with flowers. You know, a florist designs flowers. I design flowers. I consider myself a florist.
Yes. And it's just a matter of where you focus your energy, and you decided to go into the luxury market. What does that mean? Like, I know that there's so many different ways that we can build our business, and in every industry, there's so many ways, but a luxury floral designer. Now, if anyone looks at her Instagram feed, you'll know exactly what that means the moment you look. We're not talking about little bouquets. We're talking about like grand installations. And as a floral painter, it's really exciting for me.
You know, that's an interesting question, because when people started asking, what does luxury florist mean? What's the difference? And I had to sit back and look at it. I'm like, what is the difference? I know it's different. I can see the difference, but what is it in words? A luxury florist is creating experience, creating environments, building the set that those memories are going to be built on. You know, we create environments that people remember for generations. That's impactful.
Yeah.
And it is not that you can't have great memories if you don't spend millions of dollars on your wedding. You can have great memories, but I'm setting memories that look like this fairy tale.
I know.
And it can, like, you do not have to have millions of dollars to have a fairy tale wedding. But in order to do what I do, it just takes millions of dollars to do that. All right, thousands of dollars.
Yes. Well, we know there's a level of luxury for everyone at different levels. And for some people, you know, I'm just as happy shopping in Target for my clothes as I would be at Louis Vuitton or whatever. Like, we all have our different levels, and there's a need at every level. And so making a decision that luxury florals is what you wanted to do because you're talented at it and you have the vision for it, by all means, go for it. Do it. There's enough that I believe the world is bountiful, you know, so you just keep going for it. But
to be clear, I shop at Target, not Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
I am not the ones with the millions. I am the paid labor. I am the help. And I am teaching other designers to essentially be the paid labor and help for this. And I do make a good living doing it, but I am not making billions.
All right. So we're not all Sarah Blakely yet, but
not yet.
Not yet. But we can admire her for what she's accomplished with nothing. And I do really look up to her for that. Her and like Barbara Corcoran, it's like amazing stories of starting from nothing and then building an empire. And I'm always excited about those kinds of remarkable stories, which is why I really transitioned the podcast to feature women who are doing remarkable things. And I think what you're doing is incredibly remarkable, before I hit record on this podcast, so you were saying you had to make a decision. Why don't we talk about like I'd love to like have you explain this journey. Like you started these in-person workshops where people come and you provide all these gorgeous flowers. They learn how to do these giant installations. It's really quite remarkable, literally. And then of course, then we have the whole COVID story. So take us through that journey and what you decided now, where you're focused and why.
Well, the very first time I decided I wanted to teach a class, because people were asking, do you teach classes? And I really didn't. But then I decided, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's teach a class. So I hosted a floral class. You were to come in, learn to make a bouquet. I think it was a bring your own bottle of wine, make a bouquet. And I posted, I was really excited. And I sold 0 seats. No one bought my class.
Wow.
So I went back and I thought, well, other people teach classes. What is wrong with me? Why can't I sell classes? And I started looking at my audience. I don't sell little bouquets. I was trying to sell something that I've never even talked to my audience about. My audience is watching me do large scale centerpieces. They're watching me create floral walls. They're like, this is what I was sharing on social media, right? So then I decided I'll host another class. And I hosted it in my little tiny studio. It wasn't tiny, actually. It was a pretty good studio. My studio in Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah, I've been to that studio.
And I decided I was going to do a 2-day wedding workshop. It was called 2 Days with Intrigue. Natalie Frank was our first photographer for 2 Days with Intrigue.
Yeah.
And
it was a higher price.
What do you say?
Higher price point.
At a higher price point. So instead of a $49 workshop, learning to make one bouquet, I hosted a $1,500 workshop where you would learn to make a floral wall, a large scale centerpiece, bridal bouquet, tablescaping, floral chandelier, and you would learn all these things. This had to be 8-9 years ago.
Yeah, around 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we worked together a little bit at that time.
So I went from 0 people selling out and 0 people buying to a sold out class.
I love it. And people flew in for it.
Yes, there's people from all over the country. I thought I might be hitting 0 people again, which is why I held it at my studio, so I had no financial impact. And I asked my friend Natalie Frank if she could come photograph it. Natalie, I didn't pay you. You didn't even ask me for money, and we never even talked about it. But maybe one day I should send you a check. So thanks, Natalie.
She's done amazing things herself. So,
but as industry creatives, and we were doing weddings together. You just help each other. You work together. You do things for each other. So that was really wonderful. And then we decided we'll host another one, and then that parlayed into hosting a conference. And that conference really helped to put me on the map. I don't teach at these conferences. We host an annual luxury floral design conference where I don't teach. I bring in this beautifully eclectic, diverse group of designers and florists and event planners, and they all come together for 3 immersive hands-on design days. You design and you then get transported into these Intrigue style experiences while learning from people that you never would have connected with in your average business. And it's really amazing. We sell it every year. In fact, our last sellout was 34 minutes.
Wow. When was that? That was this fall, right?
That was this fall. It was in November. In fact, we had been traveling with this conference, but we decided with COVID, we were going to return home, honestly, to cut budget, because it takes a lot to fly all of our team out, put everyone up. It takes a lot. This was the best conference we'd ever hosted because I was able to give it more focus and move budget from all this travel to move budget into the caliber of educators we were bringing in and the flowers that we were able to bring in. So we, on the spot, after the conference was incredible, the food was incredible, the town was incredible, we decided we are hosting in the same exact location next year.
Yay, which is?
Tidewater Inn in Easton, Maryland, little tiny postage stamp town that is just the perfect space for us.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to get notes on that because I'm planning on hosting a conference in the future.
Tidewater,
it probably won't be this year, but it will probably be next.
Tidewater Inn is exceptional.
Yes. Yeah, Easton's an adorable place too, just right next to Annapolis, so easy to get to. Yeah, wow, it's so exciting too. How that all comes together. The point that I want to go back to for everyone listening. She tried something, it didn't work. She thought about why it didn't work, and the connection is what you've been talking about, what you're presenting, what you're showing all the time. If your offer isn't congruent with that, it might fall flat. It probably will fall flat if your customer isn't primed for that. And I've actually made that mistake many times before. And then when you show up and you're like, okay, so instead of a $50 product, it's now $1,500, but it's exactly what I've been doing and what people follow me for. And then you sell out like that. And then it's turned into this whole other part of your business. So it's getting that kind of clarity. And of course, you were able to figure that out on your own. And sometimes people, turn to coaches or mentors in order to get that kind of like clarity of what to do next. But I love that you figured out the importance of where your message had already been and who your ideal client already was. So then it's turned into this huge thing where you get to travel around and teach. You do the conferences, you do the teaching, and then COVID happened. Oh, and not only does teaching end, but also the wedding industry shut down completely.
So Kellee, I legitimately lost 100% of my income in a matter of weeks. And I want to tell you, like, right away, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. But that's not the case. Like, it took me 3 months. In fact, you can't see Jordan. She's across right now. But her and I, she's my right hand. She was on Netflix's Big Flower Fight with me. We kind of just cocooned for a couple months. Like, we did some work, but I can't tell you what we did for 2 or 3 months. Mm-hmm. I know we were moving, but it was like we were shuffling. We didn't have a direction. I'm looking at my bank account. Thank goodness I'm a saver.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, okay, how long will this last? And then one day we just decided we were going to do something different. I looked at the money in my bank account. I'm like, okay, I've got enough to really like invest into creating something new and giving it my all. And hopefully it's going to work. So we created the most beautiful and intricate large scale floral course that we've ever done. So the reason I only taught large scale design in person is because there's so many layers to it. You really have to see and understand. It takes a while to break down, but we took the better part of 2020 and we produced this course. In fact, even into 2021, we produced the course and it sold so well. In fact, I think we sold, Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we sold about $150,000 in this course sales our very first time we mentioned it.
Right. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And then we've continued to sell. So I think we've have close to 200 people who have taken this course now. And it's been incredible to watch people grow from this. I'm teaching something that was not available online. Right. You couldn't go online. You couldn't even go to YouTube and say, I want to learn to make a 20-foot floral installation that starts at the ground and reaches up the wall and grows onto the ceiling. Like, you just can't do that. Because it's really hard and it costs a lot of money to produce these. And I was producing them without people, right? No one was getting married in front of this. Nobody was paying for this. Like, I was paying for this.
Right. In order to create the course. But that was essential. In 2020, we all had to rethink how we do business. That's where the Virtual Art Summit came out. I have an annual big, huge collaborative summit online with other artists. And that started because of 2020. And I was like, got to serve the people, got to find a way to show up and serve the people. If we can't get together, then we've got to find a way to do it.
You got to find a way.
You do.
Well, yeah. So that was my 2020 story. And then when we moved beyond 2020, we did have the Netflix debut that also happened in 2020.
Oh, yes. By the way, I know I mentioned this, but oh my goodness, you were on a really fabulous, really fun to watch Netflix show. The Big The Big Flower Fight.
So the Big Flower Fight came out in 2020. May 18th, I believe, was our launch date. The downside was that we couldn't celebrate. We couldn't gather with everyone and really enjoy. Like, we were on TV. We were on Netflix. However, the upside was everybody was at home and everybody was watching.
I know. I binged it immediately,
So that was a really fun experience. And I think that kind of helped shake us out of our funk that we were in and kind of that maybe a little bit of depression that we were in, because all our plans, like, we were set up. Our 2020 was going to be incredible. Not only were we on this national tour, we had a television show that was coming out. We had already built this wonderful, engaging audience, and the weddings. Like, I was going to make some money, but that didn't happen.
I mean, a lot of people struggled through that, but the businesses that pivoted, the businesses that got innovative are the ones that stuck around. And you did that by serving people through video.
Yes. So now we're at this place where we can be in person. We're traveling, we're teaching. This is our first official tour since 2020. And we've also done something a little bit different with our virtual course. So I love the virtual course. I love to see the success that people have had. Our course is called the Big Dreams Floral Installation Masterclass. Big name, but it's a big course.
Yeah.
And as much as I love seeing everyone learn there, and they continue, we have people signing up on a regular basis to take this course. As I continue to learn, I wanted to do something to get people offline and in person. I also didn't want to sell to them again. So they already invested in this course, and the course isn't cheap. It's a $3,000 course. So I didn't want to sell them something else. So what we did is we have these opportunities around the country to do design work for editorial purposes. And I had been doing these for years to promote my own business, promote myself as a luxury wedding florist.
We even got to do one together back in I think 2016. I got to do it because I did the big floral backdrop.
Yes, I remember that. It was so beautiful. So yeah, it was very, very similar to that. I've been doing these things, and I decided, seeing how I was going to take a step back from weddings to focus on mentoring and education, I wanted to make sure these opportunities were still used. So the students that come through the virtual course, that Big Dreams Virtual Installation Master Course, when they complete the course, they are given the opportunity to join us live and in person, and they get to lead these designs. So they work with me. They work with me, and we treat it like a real wedding. We treat it like you start with inspiration, you build a recipe, you write a production plan. Because what we can't teach in the virtual course is that real experience of things going wrong, people not working faster, people working too fast, making a mess, need to clean it up. Like those things need to be taught as well. So everyone that takes the virtual course has an opportunity for this hybrid version where they get to come out and join us. So we just did one in Dallas. We did one in Philadelphia. We did one in Miami. There's no cost. There's no cost right now. I think more than likely in 24 and beyond, there'll be a cost, but right now there's no cost for that.
We have to test our ideas. So we start somewhere with these things.
Right. Yeah. And then in June of this year, we have an opportunity. We're going out to Paris with students from that course to design in Paris at this beautiful show. I'm jealous. Incredible. It's so wonderful to be able to share these opportunities.
I should just go so I can sketch all the flowers, take pictures, and then paint some big floral paintings. Wouldn't that be so much fun?
That'd be a lot of fun.
We'll see. I'm going to put it on my radar now. That's the dream. At least get to one of your events so I could do that. Would be really great. See, you have to think outside of the box. Look at how many ways you've thought outside of the box that you can connect people and work with people and give them amazing opportunities. Where are you now? You did the florals for the weddings, and then you started this whole teaching online and in person. And now you're at a pivotal point of making decisions. And I think it's really important to mention why you have to let some things go in order to allow other things to grow.
Oh, Kellee, this is such a good question. It's a good focus. So, I had this year, this is where it really started to build up. I had this year, it was 2018. We did the biggest national tour we'd ever done. We had 42 states, 84 workshops across the country in 1 year, and doing weddings at the same time. I was exhausted. We then decided, because we were so exhausted, we were going to take off 3 months. And then Netflix called. And then we went and filmed a television show with Netflix over in Europe. And then I was burning myself out. I was exhausted. I was burning my team out. They were exhausted. And I realized things had to change. And I had to make a decision. Something had to go, right? Something had to give. Weddings is where I make money. I make ridiculously good money in weddings. Yeah. Ridiculously good money in weddings. I either had to give up weddings or I had to give up courses and workshops and classes. And it really weighed on me. This might make me sound so superficial, but I was balancing out. Do I love the emotional impact that I get when I am able to see how I've been making a change in people's businesses and helping them elevate to this level that they're creating a legacy for themselves, a legacy for generations within their family? This is really something.
Yeah.
Or is it more important to me that I have the money because I make significantly larger income from weddings than I do from education and teaching and traveling? And that took me a little bit. I weighed on that for a while. I did make the choice and to focus on education, but I also miss the money. Just to be clear, I do miss the money.
The money's going to come with the education. You just build that the right way because impacting millions is so much more important than a few,
it feels so good. It feels incredible to see how many designers that started from nothing. I started from nothing. I was a teenage mom without a direction, dropped out of high school. Like I had nothing. And what we built has been incredible. And then working with others that started from nothing, working with a refugee that came over from other countries and helping them build from the ground up, even when their English isn't perfect, working with divorcees that ended up with nothing, working with couples that just got fired and have to figure something out. In floral design, you can start with nothing, and build. Like,
it's the same thing with art. It's the same thing with most creative businesses. You can start with something and you can build from there. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going into education, to help people build their businesses. Because like you said, it's the legacy. It's not just them right there, but when they master it and they know how to build a business and have income for their family, that goes on to their children and their children's children. And it does become a legacy. It becomes something that knowledge, that skill, that empowerment really gets passed down. It changes the lives of everything. Even my kids and your kids too say, oh, look at what mom was able to do. I can do it too. It's like really transformative. It's remarkable. Let's just go right in on my own brand words there, but it is remarkable, which is why I love talking about this. I love seeing that transformation as well. And when you have to make a choice, for me, teaching art has been great, but teaching how to do the business is like even more amazing. And that's what your opportunity is, to change people's lives, like.
Kellee, do you know that I have this goal in my life? You're going to appreciate this.
What?
I want to be a painter.
Well, there you go.
I bought paint and I have a blank canvas that hangs on my wall. I don't know when I'm going to paint, but that blank canvas is there to remind me that that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So this is off topic with you, but I feel like you need to know that.
I'll come and help encourage you. I'll be like, let's do it, Sarah. Let me show you how to just throw the paint around and not be scared of the canvas.
I'm terrified.
Well, that's a lot of my education in teaching art is to help people just get into the play zone, so that they stop thinking about the end results. And then suddenly they're like, oh, that worked. It's so much more fun that way. So what are your, like, one of the things I love to ask my podcast guests is, what is your big audacious dream? Now, you said you wanted to paint, but I know that there's got to be something really big. Like, I believe that you keep going with this business of teaching, you're going to make the same kind of money. It just has to build to that. What else? What else are you like? What's that big audacious dream?
Oh, your timing could not be more perfect, Kellee. So there are two things that I'm going to do in, what year are we? 2023. There are two things I'm going to do. One is I'm going to start a dress line. So I already have an apron line, and I wear pretty dresses all the time. And everyone says, where do you get your dress? And I point them in this direction. I point them in that direction. I send them to Target. I don't know how I'm going to do it. We just decided this week, but I'm going to start a dress line. And
I love it.
We're going to start a brand. So I'm going to do that this year.
Oh my goodness.
And then we've already worked on this, and we're going to film our first official pilot for a new show.
Are you producing it yourself? Or
we are producing it, yes. So one of the things I've learned in working with production companies within the television world is they'll work with you for quite a long time, where you're doing the creative process and you're working them to build things out and refine them, but they have no skin in the game. So they can all of a sudden one day be like, you know what, we're going to go in a different direction.
And cut you right out of it.
Yeah. And that's okay. Like, that's how their business runs. But I know I don't quit. Things get difficult. They get messy. I don't give up. So
you and I
already produce. I already produce content. I already produce 30-minute episodes of floral education and classes that are both entertaining and educational. We can produce a television show. So it's the basic outline has already been scripted. It is not reality. It is also not acting. It's more of documentary. Mm-hmm. But that is what we're doing. Whether I can sell it or not, don't know yet. I don't even know how to sell a television show. If anyone knows how to sell a television show, I would love to hear from you. Or if you know a mentor that I can connect with that will help me figure out how to sell this, that'd be great. But I am going to invest in it. We are going to produce the pilot, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to hustle, and I'm going to sell a television show this year. So
that is a big, audacious dream. That is amazing. I love it. Look, you have opportunities to be filmed what you're doing on the go. Like, there's so much. I love that. Are you going to be telling other people's stories?
No, not ready to share yet.
Okay, that's good. But everyone, come find Sarah and help her get this produced, this published, bought by, like, go back to Netflix, see if Netflix will do it.
It will be flower focused. It will be entertaining. It will be awe-inspiring, and it will be covering a topic that millions of people travel for every single year all over the world. but I've never heard anyone talk about this topic.
Ooh, okay, now everyone has to go and follow Intrigue Design so that you can find out what this big audacious dream is all about. And the dresses. I didn't realize you sold those aprons. They're so cute. I'm so buying one. I am so ready for it, like for sure. Yes. So again, anyone who's listening who says, I've always wanted to do this, Sarah's the person to be following. Intrigue Designs, Intrigue teaches, correct?
Yes.
And you can start by learning online, but I think your conferences is the way to go. I think it's time for us to be doing more connection, more in person, more hands-on, more experiences out of life. And I think that's what we're really all about moving forward. And I think that's going to be a big shift after everything we went through 2020, 2021. And I know we're not completely pandemic free. We're now just an endemic and we have to live with it, but it's time. It's time for us to get together, create relationships and network and come up with brand new out of the box, wild ideas. So thank you so much, Sarah, for joining me and for sharing this story. And I hope everyone is like, their wheels are turning, like, what is possible? Anything's possible when you just keep going and you don't quit, right?
Absolutely. Just don't quit.
Just don't quit. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.